I'm going to tell you a little bedtime story. How would you like that?
Pixie!
The fella you ran into was coming to kill me.
Sir. Is he dead? No, he's having a fucking nap. Yes, he's dead. What's in the bag?
I'm guessing you fellas aren't used to being in the hot water you find yourselves in currently. Is that correct?
Hello, I'm Sophia Jessica, and welcome to the Fan Carpet.
All right, so it's wonderful to speak to you both today. How are you both doing?
Yeah, man. How are you? Taking along?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. I'm good. I watched the film last night. It was brilliant. So what was it about your characters in Pixie that enticed you to get involved?
I saw a lot of myself in Frank, in the sense that he's from a small town in Ireland. I'm from a small town in England, both in the countryside, and like a desire to kind of get out and get out of that town and start a new adventure, which was kind of, for me, was going to London at 18, but for Frank, it turns out it's getting a big old bag of drugs and trying to sell it. Yeah.
Yeah, similar enough. I'm actually from a small town in Ireland, and I definitely kind of recognize that kind of want to get out and explore outside of a small town. But the character I'm playing, I guess, more wants to do the opposite, in that he wants to kind of almost settle there and like live a basic lifestyle that's non-adventurous. But I kind of picked up on what Preston was writing about, those two characters engaging with one another, and then obviously them finding themselves in the journey that they go on.
Awesome. Now, you appear alongside Olivia Cooke. What was she like to work with in a film that also has two legends of cinema with Alec Baldwin and Colm Meaney?
Yeah, she was great. I mean, most of our scenes with her was when the three of us are together, and then she had bits with Colm separately and stuff. But yeah, she was fantastic, and I felt like she had the kind of right energy to bring Pixie to life, that kind of mischievous and fun energy. And the three of us just got on so well. I felt like we just kind of all bounced and riffed off each other throughout the shoot.
I mean, everything that Daryl just said, yeah, absolutely. And like you mentioned, Colm Meaney and Alec Baldwin, they were great to work with too. But it was the three of us really for the majority of the shoot, and we really kind of bonded and hit it off and had a great natural chemistry, I think.
That's wonderful. And Ben, you've got quite distinct, quite different accent to what you usually have. Was that hard to get into?
It was, yeah. I had a dialect coach called Nick Trumbull who was really helpful, and Daryl was really helpful as well. Often going up to him and asking him, "Does this sound right? Does that sound, Daryl, will you say this for me?" But yeah, it was an interesting challenge. It was definitely the biggest challenge I've had accent-wise. It was not an accent that came naturally to me, but yeah, hopefully it's not the worst Irish accent that's seen the screen. And as long as it's not that, I'll be happy.
No, it's fine. Without giving anything away, do you have any favorite scenes, guys?
I think for me, one of my favorite scenes is just a small scene between Ben's character and mine before they go to make the kind of drug deal. It's just kind of, they're eating some ice cream and they're just chatting, and the way some guys usually chat, about Pixie, and it's just kind of funny because it just kind of encapsulates their dynamic, and it's quite a light scene, but it's very funny.
My favorite scene to film was probably the three of us in the car driving. We were in getaway mode, and we end up on the beach, and that was just a lot of fun for me, driving this old Marc on the beach. But yeah, that was the one that was most fun for me to shoot.
Awesome. Do you have any memories from filming that will stick with you throughout your careers?
Could you repeat the question, sorry?
Yeah, do you have any memories from filming that will stick with you for the rest of your career?
I'm trying to think. I mean, for me, a lot of the shoot will probably stick with me because it's the first kind of lead I've had in a film. So I think, Yeah, for most part, I'll probably remember it in some sense of form because you can't change the first of anything once it's done, and I just had a blast through the whole thing. Well, anything that stuck out, no, not really. I mean, just everything in different bits. We had loads of fun.
I'd agree for most to agree with most of that. I think the whole thing was a blast. I remember a lot of it for hopefully a long time. And if I was going to pick out one moment, maybe it would be working with Dylan Moran, who I was a big fan of as a kid growing up, especially his stand-up. So to get to watch him do his bit and do his vamping and his improving was, it was a trip. And it was, that was a 14-year-old Ben wouldn't have believed that was going to happen when he was older.
That's awesome. And what are you hoping audiences will take away from the film once they get a chance to see it?
I think it's just a good, maybe a nice time to go to the cinema. I know it's a bit troubling because some cinemas are closing, and it's just a weird time in the world right now anyway. But in terms of just like going to the cinema and forgetting about your life for an hour and a half, 2 hours, like it's definitely that kind of film to do it. It's just a big kind of trip. So I hope people, if they manage to make it out and go to see the film, they just kind of have that for themselves where they can kind of forget about things for a while and have some fun.
Exactly what Daryl said. Yeah, if they get some lighthearted relief from this in a troublesome time, that'd be job well done. Even though it's not what we set out to do necessarily. We didn't know this was coming, but obviously want people just to enjoy the movie anyway. But yeah, it feels like it's poignant that it's coming out at this time. It feels like it's something that I know that as a viewer, I definitely am keen to watch right now.
Right, and during this time, obviously it's quite difficult the world over. What are you looking forward to getting back to once it's safe to do so?
Parties, probably.
Yeah.
A football match or something like that. A gig.
Oh, a gig.
I'd love to go to a live music gig. And it's so weird because just this year I've been listening to music a lot more than I have in previous years, or at least trying to look for like new artists and stuff. And there's loads of artists now that I'm like becoming aware of that I just would love to see live. But who knows when the next time we could actually have like a live gig where you're literally like immersed in a crowd. You can't, you know what I mean? You can't even see people like 5 feet from you. But that's something I miss for sure, and hopefully something that will come back sooner rather than later.
I want to get in the club. Man. I want to dance. God, what's dancing like? I forget.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have any projects that you're looking forward to getting back to on set?
Not particularly, no. I've had a few things that pushed and a few tentative things. It's just an interesting time. It seems like the industry's getting up and going again, so hopefully I'll be back on set by the end of the year or the beginning of next year, hopefully. But nothing to report right now. Yeah,
I'm kind of a similar boat. Peaky Blinders will try and come back at the end of the year to shoot season 6, so that's something I'll probably hopefully get involved with by the end of the year. And then I just had done an Amazon project called Wheel of Time that they're finishing the first season after being postponed for a few months. But I think I know my character comes back in that in a few seasons. So apart from that, but they're all very kind of loose, whenever they happen.
Daryl, do you see a difference from going from like the small screen to the big screen?
You know what? It's so interesting. No, not really, because for me, I think when I first encountered this script, I had no idea who was going to be involved, didn't know how whether it was even going to go to cinema or festivals or anything like that. And then as we began to make it, and as I was already involved, I found out Paramount would be distributing it. Obviously, found out the cast. So in a way, it kind of always stayed just like, for me, like just a project I was passionate about doing. But for sure, I think the difference then is when it's made and it's actually out in the cinema. And, like I was in cinema in Leicester Square 3 days ago, and the movie popped up, the trailer popped up. and that was definitely kind of weird to see. So yeah, it'll feel a bit different, but I think I'm excited to kind of just experience having a film out in the cinema for people to go see.
Wonderful. All right, well, I'll leave it there, and thank you so much for taking the time to speak to me today. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you, man. Cheers.
Thank you for watching The Fan Carpet. Please follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram for more content next time.
Make little trouble out there.
There's no two people I'd rather be with travelling down the coast with a boatload of MDMA and a rotten corpse than the two of yous.
Oh, beautifully put, Frank.
I give up.
I'm here on the largest of the Balearic Islands, Mallorca, with the turquoise waters of the Mediterranean Sea, beautiful mountainous landscape, the thriving city of Palma, quaint little market towns, a growing number of luxury hotels. It's no surprise that the likes of Audrey Hepburn and Elizabeth Taylor like to holiday here. So come and join me as I take you round Mallorca.
Thank you for watching The Fan Carpet. If you like this video, be sure to click that thumbs up button at the bottom of your screen. And also be sure to subscribe to the Fan Carpet YouTube channels. They're absolutely free and so much fun too. Be sure to check out the official website, thefancarpet.com. Also, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to stay up to date with reviews, competitions, the latest news, and so much more.